What's going on, guys? DJ from the Culture War, and I'm back at it again. How are y'all doing on this day? So there's another one that I wanted to get into, another topic. So somebody got a clip of it. Well, Luke Rizalski got a clip of it. So I just wanted to talk about it really quick. Just knock it out the park. So I and many others more prominent than me, we have been saying that what the U.S. government is going to do now is try to bring their domestic terrorist policies or the terrorist policies abroad here domestically, what they can get away with anyway. And that they're using the Capitol riots as a means to garner more control, garner more power, and to exert that power on the populace. And to say, well, you can't disagree with us, you can't think differently than us, you are just a pawn. You can't have any other opinion than the prevailing opinion handed down to you by the corporate masters or the corporate overlords of media, such as MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News. And barely even Fox News. Because as you see with Oliver Darcy, they're trying to get rid of Fox News off of cable networks, and they're trying to say, hey, or cable providers, and they're saying, hey, why are you allowing Fox News, who peddles disinformation, on your website? Don't you know that Fox News peddles disinformation? So that's basically where they're going at with that. So now we've gone to a new extreme. In the days preceding the ratification or the certification of the votes in the U.S., the Electoral College and the Capitol riots, we were seeing we got to make sure we get libertarians, we got to make sure we get the far right and the racists, and they started lumping all the other groups like libertarians and Tea Partiers and all. They started lumping all of those people in together.
The members of the Biden team who have been nominated or have been appointed are now moving in laser-like fashion to try to uncover as much as they can about what looks very similar to insurgency movements that we've seen overseas, where they germinate in different parts of the country and they gain strength, and it brings together an unholy alliance frequently of religious extremists, authoritarians, fascists, bigots, racists, nativists, even libertarians. And unfortunately, I think there has been this momentum that has been generated as a result of, unfortunately, the demagogic rhetoric of people that just departed government, but also those who continue in the halls of Congress.
So I said we need to crack down on domestic terrorism. We need to search and make sure we can find and we can stomp out the root of this evil. So saying that, started seeing articles where they're saying, your gun rights are white supremacists. Your ability to protect yourself, your ability to protect your loved ones, those are white supremacist ideals, and those need to be taken away from you, to protect everybody else so everyone else can feel safe. But again, let's not go into the whole how disarming your populace and whatnot, especially in the Americans in the U.S. has been used to go after the underprivileged community and the minority communities. Let's not go about how the Democratic Party tried to take away the post-slavery, take away the black people's and the black populace's ability to defend themselves in their own community. Do you look at all the heavy gun laws and gun restrictions? They're all in the, heavily urban, heavily black areas of the country, which, doesn't seem like it's a coincidence to me, seeing as how these were policies they were trying to institute all throughout pro-slavery. But hey, whatever, right? So I'm going to play this clip. I want you to hear what this woman is saying that from MSNBC is saying that we should, the policies we should take and implement here. So I'll just play that for you.
And again, that's not us saying so, John Hammond. That is a bulletin released to all law enforcement earlier this week that there is, until the end of April, a persistent threat of domestic extremism, domestic terrorism carried out in the ideology and around this belief that the election was fraudulent, that the COVID restrictions are unnecessary. All of those ideologies pushed by Donald Trump. But my question for you is around incitement. We had a policy, and it was very controversial. It was carried out under the Bush years.
Now, before we go forward, just notice how she's also talking about people that didn't like the election results, felt that there were questions with the election, and individuals who are going against the COVID lockdowns. You know, she's trying to say that these were all ideas fostered by Trump. Let's not talk about the fact that most of the black community they don't like Trump, but they also are very skeptical of the vaccines. They were and are skeptical of the lockdowns and things of that nature, most of which don't, really listen to them. But hey, I'm a black person in the black community, but that doesn't matter. Also, let's not take into account the many protests and riots that happened across the world with these lockdowns. And I even did a video of in Italy, there were about 50,000 restaurants that decided, hey, we're just going to open up. We're not going to allow the government to cause us to go bankrupt. We're not going to allow them to destroy our businesses, destroy our dreams, and destroy our way of income to provide for our families. And that also happened in Mexico and some other places. But again, we're not going to tell anybody about that because it's MSNBC and we're fucking trash. So we're not going to say that this is a controversy about the effectiveness of lockdowns, seeing as how it has not been shown that the lockdowns actually do anything, and may actually have contributed to everything being worse, since in New York at one point, everybody, a lot of the people getting the virus were getting them at home and not actually outdoors in the wider society. But it was actually people going out, coming back in, bringing the virus with them, and then infecting their whole household. Seeing as how the virus seemed to be doing better indoors than versus outdoors. But let's not get into those things. All right. This might be a little bit too much for her pea-sized ass brain.
Was carried out under the Bush years and under the Obama years of attacking terrorism at its root, of going after and killing, and in the case of Amr al-Awlaki, an American, a Yemeni American, with a drone strike for the crime of inciting violence, inciting terrorism. Mitch McConnell.
She basically just there, if you did not catch it, said that we should take that policy that we did in the Obama era. And not sure she said Bush era. Let's just
inciting violence, inciting for the crime of with a drone strike, and in the case of Amr al-Awlaki, going after and killing, attacking terrorism at its under the Obama years.
Okay, just making sure.
An American, a Yemen.
So basically, what she's saying is that we should take that strategy and go after terrorism at its root and start bombing individuals we deem as the terroristic, or drone striking individuals we see as the terroristic leaders of these various movements, extrajudicially, without trial, without bringing up, without these individuals getting their day in court, like Amr al-Awlaki, who was a U.S. citizen, didn't get his day in court. They just drone striked him. But, we just bring those policies over to the U.S. and we'll just start drone striking people. Just, it'll be easier. We can get rid of our political dissidents. We can just get rid of any political opposition. Why not?
Any American with a drone strike for the crime of inciting violence, inciting terrorism. Mitch McConnell was in the Senate then. He was in the Senate after 9/11 too. How does Mitch McConnell, who understands that the way you root out terrorism is to take on, in the case of Islamic terrorism, kill those who incite it, how does he not vote to convict someone that he said on the floor of the Senate incited an insurrection?
Also there, I want to point out, if you didn't know, that she is asserting that the way to combat extremism, the way to combat terrorism was to actually, the proper way to do it was the Obama years, what they decided to do, which was to extrajudicially drone strike individuals, drone strike potential terroristic leaders just in the area and things of that nature. I want to ask everybody who's watching this, how well did those policies actually do in terms of rooting out terrorism? Because it seems like we still have that issue, and it seems like that hasn't gotten any better. And it seems like it just further radicalized these individuals, and it didn't actually make things better for the West, for the countries that were being bombed. It seemed like it just fostered more extremism and animosity towards the United States. And then with the regime changes that the U.S. was engaged in, that caused power vacuums and caused a lot of these terroristic organizations to pop up in the first place. So it seems like U.S. intervention actually caused the further spread of these extremist ideas, rather than letting these ideas be had in the court of public opinion, and then stomping them down with better ideas or better opinions. But yeah, it just seems like to these individuals, and I really do enjoy that, they'll call like Fox News and other individuals who disagree with them pushing misinformation and pushing conspiracy theory, but these individuals get to or my favorite, fostering extremism right now, inciting violence. Those are buzzwords and buzz terms that they like to use. Those are nice little phrases that pull on the heartstrings, but this is perfectly fine. This gets to be on primetime TV, and it's perfectly all right. All good. No problem there. So I just want you guys to know I'm going to be doing more videos going forward. I think I have a couple that's already stating this. They're going to try and target you and attack you. These people don't care about you. They don't care about how you feel. They don't care if you have a difference of opinion. They want to exert power, and many of these people are connected to the same government and establishment government individuals that have now retained power and gotten back into the center of power. We've seen how well a supermajority has done in California. You had the Democrats controlling all three branches of government. Not saying that the establishment Republicans are any better, because the establishment Republicans aren't. And a lot of them were riding behind the Democrats and just wanted to get Trump out of power because it made them and their money and hurt them in their pockets. So, as we see more of these individuals that have ties to various administrations and things of that nature, ties to the establishment and ties to corporate entities and corporate powerhouses and corporate money, you're going to see more calls to root out any of this populist movement, because that's really what's going on right now. They're just trying to stamp out anyone who is for the liberty and populist movements of the West that's going on right now. And I mean left and right, because as you see, a lot of left-wing channels are being taken out right now. A lot of, not left wing, but I want to say progressive and leftist, the farther reaches of the left, those are being taken down. You see, when the Democrats got in power, they dropped them and they threw them out like day old bread. So I just want you guys to be aware of what's going on now in the climate, and it's just the establishment further trying to entrench their power. And if they, God forbid, if they ever lose power and the people that they claim are terrible and stuff get all the benefits of the different changes and things that they made, that definitely won't bite them in the ass. That definitely is going to be pretty solid. Yeah, I can't see any consequences going forward. So, like, comment, and subscribe. Again, this has been DJ from the Culture War. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everything you do. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me and listen to my rantings. We're getting better at this. I'm getting better at this. And I should have my alternative platforms up and running relatively soon. And again, I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. Have a great day. This is DJ from the Culture War, and I'm out. Peace.